All right. Shalom, shalom. We're going to face the east and give all glory and honors to Yahweh. Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Ruach Kodash. Yahweh being the true name and the only name in the Paleo Hebrew, the Lashwan Kodash, or the holy tongue for the world ignorantly calls God. Yahweh Shai being the true name and the only name in the Paleo Hebrew, the Lashwan Kodash, or the holy tongue for who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Letting you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans of Negroid and indigenous descent through the lineage of your fathers know you are the true children of Israel, Yasharallah in the Paleo Hebrew, meaning he prince of the power. Double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well, who I learn from daily, the sincere brothers on down, and the likewise like-minded brothers who are scattered throughout this earth teaching the same doctrine. You Akim and you Aqua, you brothers and you sisters who have returned to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai in spirit and in truth, I bid you a shalom, and you speckled bird Israelite foreigners who look like the heathen nations, but truly go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, I bid you a shalom as well. And when these 17 nations outside of Yasharallah are reading the Bible, what are they truly reading? They are reading your history. So it's your brother, Amawan Yasharallah, back out here on the highways and hedges, prayerfully with another edifying lesson for the lost sheep of the house of Israel, the elect 1/3 who are imparted with this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, the spiritual eyes to see and the spiritual ears to hear, man. And as always, we only dealing with prophecy, man. You know, and prophecy goes into what? Saying before, speaking before, man. So the testimony of who the world inly calls Jesus Christ is the testimony of prophecy. So guess what? We living in these times that, you know, the so-called, you so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Americans and the rest of the earth never thought they'd be here to see. What time is that? Who the world inly calling Christ coming back to visit the world which he made, man. You know? Unbeknownst to our people, you have the most illustrious history the world's ever known, man. You know? And at the end of the day, it started off with you being marginalized and subjugated, and it's only going to end off, well, let me say that the right way. You started off on top, but for your disobedience, you had to be subjugated and marginalized. And guess what? You're going to be risen up again. So, you know, it's a movie with Denzel Washington in it, and it's one of my favorite movies. It's called Remember the Titans. Well, guess what? You got the greatest underdog story that's ever been written, man. See? That's ever been on the face of this earth, man. So at the end of the day, man, here it is. We here, man. We here now, man. What you got going on? Plagues, pestilences. You just had, in a span of 24 hours, you had 2 more of these old so-called rappers knocked off, man. You know? So you got, we here, man. We here at the water, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, Hashem Kodash. Let's get straight into it, man. We're going to get straight to the body bag, man. You know? It is what it is, man. Our people are still walking around in great dark, you know? And it's a penalty for that, man. Let's continue. Let's get straight into it, man. You know? Vladimir Putin is cranking up. I believe he just did what? He just sanctioned 300,000 more troops, or damn near a million. Some reports say. You know, he got Chinese troops, them boys from Moab, ganging up with him, man, going into the Ukraine, man. You know, so we here, man. We here at the end of all things, man. Call like and like Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, Hashem Kodash. Let's start off in 2nd Esdras. Start off in 2nd Esdras chapter 5. 2nd Esdras chapter 5. And verse 1. Nevertheless, as coming in tokens, behold, the day shall come. What is the tokens? The tokens are the prophecies, man. See? Nevertheless, as coming in tokens, behold, the day shall come. That's prophecy. The day shall come. That they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in a great number. So guess what, man? We haven't even got to the pinnacle of people being taken in a great number. But as you can see, if you're paying attention to the news all around you, people dying left and right, man.
But out of all of us, who's one who's
all over the earth, man. In an assortment of ways, man. Because when you're dealing with who the world inly calls Christ, the scriptures call him what? The king of terrors, man. And we're going to get that, Lord willing. Let's finish this. 2nd Esdras chapter 5, verse 1. Nevertheless, as coming in tokens, behold, the day shall come that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in a great number. So that 19, that 19, the scandemic, you know, it took a lot of people. It took a lot of people, but we ain't seen shit yet. It's so much more to come, man. Call I am La Yah by Shim Yahushai by Shimmer Kakwadah. Watch this. And the way of truth shall be hidden. Because here in a second, the so-called white man is doing what? He's demonizing, he's doing what? He's using his crafty counsel, he's using his deceit and his double forked tongue to do what? Set up the pretense to come after the prophets, man. To come after this truth. To lead to what? The famine of the word. And we're gonna get into it, Lord willing, through the Spirit. And the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be bearing the faith. As you can see, man, for the most part, this land is bearing the faith, man. Because the only ones who had a true faith in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, or who the world calls God and Jesus Christ, is the elect. You know, they're the ones who had the true faith on the earth, man. You know, our people still talking about Buddha. Our people still talking about Islam. Our people still calling themselves Moors. You know? Some of our people are agnostic, you know, or downright so-called atheists, man. You don't believe in shit. And all those things, you have been ensnared and you have been blinded by who the world only calls God and Jesus Christ. Matter of fact, let's get a quick precept. Romans chapter 11. Romans chapter 11 and verse 7. Romans chapter 11 and verse 7. What then? Israel have not obtained which he seeketh for, because ultimately, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you seeking the truth. You want your peace. Everything that you do out here is so you can get your so-called slice of American pie. But you don't understand what? America finna be destroyed. It's destined to be destroyed. It's already written. The rapper Nas had a CD called It Was Written. I believe that was his second CD. It Was Written. Well, guess where he got that from? He got that from the scriptures, man. So the scriptures said what? That you would fall from your hierarchy. You will fall from your excellency, and you so-called Negroes of the Americas. Well, let me say that right. You so-called Negroes of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi will be brung over here to the Western world on cargo slave ships, man. See that? And Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai was true to his word, man. Let's read that again. Romans 11 and 7. What then? Israel. Israel means what? In the Paleo Hebrew, it's pronounced Yasharallah, meaning he prince of the power. Let's get it. What then? Israel, Yasharallah, have not obtained that which he seeketh for, which is that peace, which is the truth. But the election have attained it. Who is the election? Those, the 1/3 who are imparted with this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, the spiritual eye to see and the spiritual ears to hear. And the rest were blinded. So the rest of our people have been blinded by your creator, man. Call like him, like Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Kakwadah. Verse 8, according as it was written, the Most High have given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear unto this day. So guess what? That's exactly what's going on. Because as I'm out here, Lord willing, at least 5 times out the week, if my schedule permits me. Sometimes I'm out here 7 days a week, man. And very seldomly do our people come up and inquire. You know, they don't want to know because our people are faithless and hopeless, man. See that? Call I am like Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Kakwadah. Because ultimately, what? Our people believe this is a end-all, be-all, man. You think that you're supposed to be at the bottom to inferior nations of people. Everybody who is over you are inferior to you. That's thus saith the Lord, thus saith the Holy Bible, man. Let's continue. Let me read that again. Romans 11 and 8. According as it was written, the Most High have given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they should see, not see, and ears that they should not hear unto this day. So everybody, almost everybody on the earth got eyes and ears. But guess what? You got to have spiritual eyes and spiritual ears to be able to understand what's going on, man, and what time period you truly in. Verse 9, Romans 11 and 9. And David saith, let their table be made a snare and a trap and a stumbling block and a recompense unto them. So what is that table? That table is this word, man. This truth. This is your table. Matter of fact, let me get a quick precept. Let's go to where David even said that at Psalms chapter 24. Psalms the 24th chapter. And let's get that. Psalms chapter 24. Salakia, Psalm 23. Salakia, Psalm 23. And we just gonna read the chapter, man. This David speaking, man. Psalm 23 and 1. The Lord Adonai Yahweh is my shepherd. Yahweh means what? Yah meaning he. Howeh means exist or he is. Yahweh meaning he is or he exists, man. The Lord Adonai Yahweh is my shepherd, I shall not want. So if you do what? If you put your trust in the Lord, congruent to Proverbs, the 3rd chapter, then guess what, man? Matter of fact, let's get that. Proverbs chapter 3. Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 5. Trust in the Lord Adonai Yahweh with all thine heart, and lean not unto thy own understanding. So what are people doing? They leaning into their own understanding. How are you leaning on to the own understanding? Because you trusted in the lies and the indoctrination that you received from these so-called white people. Who is Esau Edom? Who called you black? Who called you Native American or Indian, which means savage? Who called you a Latino? All of those are proverbs and bywords that were prophesied that you would be called in the Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. The Lord told you you would be called these things as a punishment, as a curse. See? Proverbs 3 and 5. Trust in the Lord with all thy heart and lean not into thy own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. See? So that's why it really goes back to where we were just reading in Romans, the 11th chapter, in the 9th verse, where David said, guess what? This word, your table, let the table be a stumbling block to you, man. Because your way out of everything that's coming down the pipe is through your heritage, man, which is the scriptures, man. Our people don't want to deal with that. Because you too busy trying to get a 3-5 of weed, a 1/4 ounce of kush, a damn Cuban chain, and a new pair of Balenciagas, man. That's what's going to get your head cracked around here, man. Let's continue. Proverbs 3 and 7. Be not wise in thy own eyes. Fear the Lord Adonai Yahweh and depart from evil. And what is the evil? Everything that the so-called white man, who is the devil that the Bible speaks of, has pitched to our people, man. Huh? Because he is naturally contrary to the scriptures, man. So, with that being said, we can go back. Psalms chapter 23. And we're going to read it again from the top. A psalm of David. David was what? Dawud was a man after the Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai's own heart, man. The Lord Adonai Yahweh is my shepherd, I shall not want. So you don't need nothing else but the Lord Adonai Yahweh being your shepherd, man. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. What is this green pasture? This truth, this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Verse 3, he restoreth my soul with that same knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. He leadeth me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Verse 4, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. So the valley of the shadow of death is what? Right here in the good old USA, Babylon the Great. David said, I'm walking through the valley of the shadow of death, man. You know? And that's plain upon table because there's a controversy going on about, King David, man. Well, if you had the true understanding and you reading and understanding with the spiritual eyes, the spiritual ears, it ain't need nothing else to talk about, man. You already know what it is. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, Babylon or America, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff comfort me. Because what is the rod and the staff? Symbolizes stability, man. It stabilizes. And when you go to Isaiah 33 and 6, what would stabilize us? Let's get that, man. Let's get that. Isaiah chapter 33 and verse 6. Isaiah 33 and 6 And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability. The root word of the word stability is stable. Of thy times, what times? The times that we coming into, which is Jacob's trouble, the worst time to ever be seen on the face of the earth. Where the Lord is going to do what? Judge all you rebellious so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who want to eat a pork chop, who want to be, who want to have gay pride, you know. You niggas who want to be rappers and ball players who stuck in the ways of this world, that the fashions of this world, which is going to pass away, where the Lord going to destroy you. Because the scriptures, we going to get that, Lord willing. Let's continue. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability at our times, and strength of salvation. So the strength of your salvation is this truth. When you go into the word salvation, it goes into what? Saved. Saved, man. The fear of the Lord Adonai Yahweh is his treasure, man. So the true riches is the fear of the Lord, man. The fear of the Lord along with this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, man. So now we can go back to Psalms 23, and we're going to read verse 4 again. Psalms 23 and 4, man. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, America, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and staff, they comfort me. This wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Only way you're going to get that is with this truth, man. Thou preparest a table, that's the key word. Because what did we start off with in Romans, the 11th chapter, the 9th verse? David said, let their table be a snare and a stumbling block and a trap to them, which is this truth. Thou preparest a table, which is this truth, before me in the presence of my enemies. Who is your top enemy? The so-called white man, Esau, Edom. Then after that, who else is it? All these other nations that's outside of our people, man. How do we know that these people are our enemies? Because what? Why do these so-called foreign people come over here? What do they come over here for? They come over here to eat off the backs of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. They come over here to sell you blunts. They come over here to sell you cigarettes. They come over here to sell you wigs, Malaysian hair. They come over here to do our women's nails. See? Huh? They come over here to set up what they call the Arab stores. Where's all the Arab stores damn near located? In the ghettos, man. In the slums where you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans reside. Why they ain't back at home? Because they done came over here and they lived in squalor where they came from, but now they over here doing what? They living better than you. And your people did what? Help build this place, man. All right, man. Straight up. Let's continue. Psalms 23 and 5 again. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Everybody outside of the nation of Israel or the nation of Yasharala is your enemy. If you're not a so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American of Negroid and indigenous descent, then they're your enemy, man. That's thus said the Lord, thus said the Holy Bible, man. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. What is that oil? This truth, man. This wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Verse 6, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. So those who had this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, that's your reward. To dwell in the house of the Lord forever, which is the kingdom of heaven, man. That everlasting life. So now, we read that. Now we can go back to Romans. Romans, the 11th chapter, and the 9th verse. And David said, let their table be made a snare and a trap and a stumbling block and a recompense to them. So 2/3 of our people, that's why you hate the Bible. That's why you hate your heritage, man. Because David asked the Lord to do what? To blind you, man. To blind 2/3 of our people, man. Because you are those rebellious spirits back in that time who did what? Who said, let Yahweh shower, let Jesus, who the world calls Christ, let his blood be upon us and our children, man. You are those rebellious spirits back here today to get what? To get served, man. That's what you got coming, man. Romans 11 and 10. Let their eyes be darkened. See that? that they may not see and bow down their back always. So you going to bow down your back always. What you going to bow down your back to do? If you make it to this point, let's show you. This is what you going to bow down your back to. This is what you going to bow down your back to all the way. The RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast, the so-called white man's end game, man. He finna force this on the world, man. He finna force this on the world. The microchip, the mark of the beast, man. That's what's coming to the world, man. America is finished, man. These people don't know that it's over with, man. You walking around here in some of your last times, man. You gotta drink, smoke, fuck, do all the shit you got, all your worldly lust, you gotta get that off, man. Because all hell finna break loose. Call like how about Shim Yahweh Shai about Shim Rakak with us, man. Let's continue. Let's continue. Going back to Second Esdras.
I've seen a lot of episodes of Survivors.
Go back to Second Esdras, chapter 5. In verse 2. But iniquity shall be increased above which thou now seest. So what is iniquity? Sin upon sin. That's finna increase. And if you paying attention, all you gotta do, like I say, download the Newsbreak app. All you gotta do is download the Newsbreak app. It's all type of wickedness going on, man. On top of it, man, that you have never heard before, man.
Okay.
And it's only gonna get worse.
Yeah, it's getting worse now.
Yeah, and it's all biblical.
Yeah.
Do you know you are according to the Heavenly Father?
Yeah.
What's that?
What is true?
Absolute blood trilogy. Blood. Not what we was taught in Christianity, because you can know our people was the only ones who was his children.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody else. Ain't no so-called white people or nothing. His children. There you go.
Take it easy.
You get all right. Let's continue. Let's continue. But iniquity shall be increased above that which thou now seest, or that thou hast heard long ago. Matter of fact, let's get a precept to back this up. Matthew chapter 24. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 12. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 12. Let's start at we're gonna go straight to the point. Because we got more places to be and more places to go in the spirit. Matthew 24 and verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. So guess what? They had that young brother down there in Memphis. That boy said, man, guess what? He went on a shooting spree. He just started picking. People and shooting, man. The love of many waxing cold, man. Down there in Houston, I believe it was Houston or Dallas, Texas. One of those Israelites, one of them Jakes, he carjacked the dude. He killed the father and left the 2-year-old in the back seat, man. The love of many waxing cold, man. See? And it's only going to get worse. Let's read that again, Matthew 24 and 12. And this is red letter writing out of Yahweh Yahweh Shai speaking, who the world inly calls Christ. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold, but he that shall endure to the end, the same shall be saved. So guess what? That's an automatic cut on Christianity. Because, you know, people come past here and say, well, guess what? I'm saved. Well, guess what? Yahweh Shai, who the world calls Christ, said you got to endure to the end. And that's how you're going to be saved. Let's continue to read. Matthew 24 and verse 14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations. So this gospel had to be preached throughout all the world. And how would it be preached? First of all, it will be preached on the highways and hedges. Out here in the chief place of concourse. That's where the Lord told his men to come, to the chief place of concourse. Now, you got men who out here, you know, you back in the cut. You know, you back in the cut with it, man. Hey, guess what, man? Hey, it's a price to pay for that, man. You niggas better stop hiding, man. Call how about Shim Yahweh Shai about Shim Rakak with us. Because let me get this real quick. Psalms chapter 94 in verse 16. Watch this. Psalms chapter 94. And we're gonna start at let me start at 12. Blessed is the man who now chasteneth, O Lord Adonai Yahweh, and teaches him out of thy law. So guess what? Who is those who being chastened? Those who were who have been abased. Those who have done what? Let's get that real quick. The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 2. The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 2, and verse. We're going to start at verse 1. Ecclesiasticus, better known as Sirach, chapter 2 and verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, Adonai Yahweh, prepare thy soul for temptation. So the temptation comes through what? Everything that you see out here that is of the world. And that's the beautiful thing. That's the spirit, because we're going to go into that as well, Lord willing. All the temptations is all the things that is of this world that Esau Edom pitches to us, man, through his commercials, through his movies, through his music, because all genre of music goes back to Esau Edom. All the entertainment goes back to Esau Edom through the wicked jakes who have made a covenant with death, man, for they so-called piece of the pie, man. Sirach chapter 2 and verse 1, also known as Ecclesiastes. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord Adonai Yahweh, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright, your mind, get your mind right. Them boys, I forget, them boys from No Limit had a song, you better get your mind right. And the only way you can get your mind right is with this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Call Layim La Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Ba Shem Kakwadash, man. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure. We just read that in Matthew the 24 and 14. 24:13, man. He that endured to the end, the same shall be saved. And make not haste in the time of trouble. So we supposed to stay patient with this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that was spoken of in Isaiah 33 and 6. You know, the fear of the Lord is his treasure and the stability of his times, man. So we ain't gonna hasten in these times of trouble. Jacob's trouble, man. Verse 3, cleave unto him. Cleave. How do you cleave unto him? With this, by cleaving unto his word. Holding fast what you have with this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. That's Revelation, the 2nd chapter, the 25th verse. Cleave unto him and depart not away. Yeah, you can't be switch side. You can't be weary. You can't get faint. Matter of fact, the rest, when we read the more of this chapter, it's going to go into that. That thou mayest be increased at the last end. So we trying to be increased. What do I pray for at night? I pray that Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai does what? That he has me from the face of pride, from that spirit of pride. Baba Kasha. I ask him, Baba Kasha meaning please. I ask him to do what? Give me a triple dose of his fear, a triple dose of that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that is written in Isaiah the 33rd chapter, the 6th verse. A triple dose of the faith of the ancient man, man. And a triple dose of the strength to endure the ancient, man. See that? And to do what? So I can be increased in the last and find me worthy for his salvation, man. See that? Let's continue. Whatsoever, Ecclesiasticus 2 and 4. This is the point I want to get into, but we're going to continue to read. Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach, chapter 2 and verse 4. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, man. And be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. So guess what? You got to be a base to be able to be exalted, man. You got to be a base to be able to be exalted. See that? Call Layim La Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Ba Shem Kakwadash. So Ecclesiasticus, better known as Sirach, chapter 2 and verse 5. For gold is tried in a fire. So the way that you know that something is true gold, guess what? You put it in the fire, man, and it's gonna hold up. You can't destroy true gold, man. You can't destroy pure gold. For gold is tried in the fire, an acceptable men in a furnace of adversity, man. So through adversity, man, guess what? That's how you prove. That's how Yahweh Hashem Yahushua proves his men. See? So now, with that being said, I want to drop down. I'm going to keep reading. Sirach 2:6. Believe in him and he will help thee. Order thy way aright and trust in him. That goes back to what? The Proverbs that we just read. Proverbs 3:5, 3-7. The Isaiah that we read, 33:6. All to see how the Spirit of the Lord leads me. Because I don't come out here with no set. I go through the Spirit, Lord willing. The Wadi Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, I let him, I pray that he flow through me, man. So Sirach chapter 2 and verse 6, Ecclesiastes chapter 2 and verse 6. Believe in him and he will help thee. Order thy way aright and trust in him. Verse 7. Yet that ye that fear the Lord Salakia, Adawan Yahweh, wait for his mercy and go not aside lest you fall. So you got that goes into enduring, man. That goes into Matthew 24:13 right there. Precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little is how you read the scriptures, and that's how you get the true understanding of this word, man. Verse 9, Sirach 2:9. Ye that fear the Lord, Adawan Yahweh, hope for good and for everlasting joy and mercy. Look at the generations of old and see did ever any trust in the Lord, Adawan Yahweh, and was confounded. Now that goes into right what I said when I pray. What did I pray for?